Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this one video, I'm going to be covering borderline personality disorder, and a little bit about my backstory and what my symptoms are and what I deal with and what my husband deals with and what kind of like it was like growing up, I guess. So that being said, I'm going to define it first. BPD for short is, to keep it pretty simple, borderline itself is pretty description-wise oriented. It's it's borderline between psychosis and depression. So, for me personally, I have about 2 emotions that I feel 3/4 of the time, and I have certain emotions that I can't control very well. Currently, I struggle still, actually, to be happy. I struggle to feel happiness, and I struggle to feel excitement, stuff like that. Anything positive, I really struggle with. However, I excel at being numb, and I excel at anger. I have pretty bad anger issues, and sometimes I can't help it. It's easily triggered. It's easily kind of brought on. With me, my moods fluctuate constantly. Like, my husband notices, like, my mood fluctuations all the time. It's insane. I don't notice them. So, I don't notice when my mood fluctuates. I don't notice if I'm doing something sometimes. Like, a lot of the time, I don't notice if I'm doing something. So, you can imagine how difficult it is for people who are friends with me. My decisions constantly change. I have high cortisol levels because of my high depression. I have high anxiety. I stutter, and I just get really numb. I get so numb. It's hard to understand for a lot of people because a lot of people are like, can you just be happy? It's like, no, I can't. I really can't, because I haven't felt happy since I was in like 5th grade. Like, I can feel happy for like a max of 10 minutes. Like, when my husband proposed to me, I didn't cry. And I know I should have, because it was really cute how he did it. But it's like, I don't know how to control my happy feelings, and I don't know how to show them. So people expect me to be happy, and I'm just like, what am I supposed to do? So that's basically what I look like half the time when people expect me to be happy, and I just don't know how to do it. So you can imagine how hard it is that something so good happens and you don't know how to feel. Like, you don't know how. Like, I don't know how to be happy. I don't know how to stop my anger when it starts. I don't know how to get rid of the numbness. I've gone to therapy. I've taken different medications. The only thing I've found that actually works is some synthetic stuff that I have and some natural stuff, and all it does is improve my mood. It improves my happiness level, but that doesn't mean I know how to handle it. That doesn't mean I know how to, like, show you happiness, because I don't. I don't know how to show happiness anymore. I don't know how to feel it. So, like, I may look happy. I've always been this way. But I may look happy, but honestly, I don't feel it. Like, it's really hard for people to grasp that I don't feel happiness. I feel when I'm sad, and I feel when I'm angry. And when I'm done with my anger, I feel guilty, because I most likely did something that I should have not done. And I feel horrible. Feel terrible. I'm constantly working on myself, and I'm constantly having to question my actions. Now that it's been 3 years since I was diagnosed with it, I've learned how to acknowledge when like my BPD is acting up, or I've learned how to notice it. Like before I didn't notice it, but now like I can tell when it's like my BPD. My husband can even tell when it's my BPD acting up. And he's gotten really good at understanding it. And when we first met, I was actually writing a paper on my own disorder, and he willingly listened to it just to understand what I deal with. And when I was reading it, he was like, wow, this sounds just like you. And a lot of people say that BPD sounds just like me, and it's because I live it. And I struggle with consistency. I struggle with money a lot of the time. I have impulsive behavior. I can't drink, but I do anyway. I shouldn't drink because my anger is triggered way easier. Just like a weekend or two, actually 2 weekends ago, I got mad at my husband for something when I was drunk, and I blacked out within 20 minutes. And I don't remember being angry. Like, I don't remember feeling angry. I've never done hardcore drugs for that reason. There's a lot of things I don't do and I can't do because my disorder. And I know people are like probably thinking, you're not your disorder. You know what? Shut up. I live it. I literally am affected by my disorder every day. My disorder doesn't define me because of my personality and my morality and, everything, but it's a part of me, and I've accepted that. And I think that was a key part to me growing and getting better at my disorder, is that I've accepted it as part of me, and that it's something that I just got to deal with. It's just something that I got to deal with. It's definitely one of the most controversial disorders to have. It coincides with bipolar. I was taking bipolar meds, and then I got off of them because they worked for about 2 months, and then they started making me feel numb again, so I just stopped. And then there's a lot of symptoms to it, and I struggle to like myself. I struggle to love myself. Currently, I hate myself, and that's pretty normal for me. I have a poor self-image. That's another symptom. It's kind of one of those things. I was diagnosed with it after my attempted suicide led to me putting myself in a hospital for my own safety. So I had to stay however long I stayed. I didn't stay for 24 hours. In Kaiser, in the psych unit for, overnight, just like from probably about 11 to like 9 in the morning, to kind of like make sure I didn't hurt myself again or leave and hurt myself. So, I also had to admit to the therapist that I've thought about suicide for 10, 11 years, actually 11. I thought about suicide from the ages of 9 to about 20, somewhere in there. I still kind of do occasionally. I realized that that's just something that I gotta deal with. It's just something I have to just acknowledge. It usually comes out when I'm driving, or when I'm driving through hills, which is really weird. It'll just pop up, and usually it just pops in my head before I acknowledge it. Like, I won't acknowledge it until the thought's already gone through my head. So those I'm trying really hard to learn how to control so that I can stop them when they start, but when they start, most of the time I can't control them. I always was very moody. I was a liar growing up. I was super manipulative growing up. Lots of things that I grew out of, but at the same time, lots of things that I still have a problem with right now. And honestly, what I've learned with BPD is that it's a constant like rotation of the same things, the same feelings, the same things happening, you know. I'm good with other people's finances, but mine, no. Other people's, yes. Mine, no. I'm good at cleaning other people's houses, but mine, I have no desire to do that. I'm good at helping other people with their feelings, but I'm terrible at my own feelings. I go on. That's just a little bit of what I deal with. I mean, BPD is not easy, and I guarantee it's not easy for me, it's not easy for my family, and it's definitely not easy for my husband, or our friends for that matter. And I gotta give major props to people who have BPD and are working on it, and people who deal with it, because we're not easy to deal with. That's the honest truth, we're not. It's not something it's easy to cope with. And one thing I don't agree with in psychology is that they say it's harder for the family members than it is for the person who has it. And I think that's a lie. Because when you have it and you look at your family members struggling, you feel guilty. Because you can't stop. You can't stop yourself. I mean, I can go to therapy and get medication all I want to help make it better and improve it, but it'll never disappear. It's a genetic and it's an environmental thing. Genetically, I have it. Environmentally, I've gotten it triggered. So it's not easier for me to deal with it because I have it. I promise you that. It's really not. It's actually harder. And I hope that people who learn that, who hear that statement in psychology, understand that I struggle with the guilt that people have to deal with me daily. I struggle. Like, I feel horrible that anyone even has to deal with me, which is still connected to my suicidal thoughts. So, that being said, if you hear that, feel free to raise your hand and tell them no, that's a lie, because it's not true. Some of us do struggle with the depression and the guilt of being a burden to everybody. And I just wanted to share my story and the things that I kind of deal with on the daily, like the things that I feel. And I know it's a little bit of a long video, but it's really knowledgeable and it's easily researched. Like, you could literally Google it and they'll give you everything on it. And I just hope that it brings people more awareness to, if you've ever thought of something toward me, there you go. That's why. It's something, there's things that are wrong with me, and I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that. And I hope that this just brings more awareness to the fact that borderline personality disorder is not a joke. May is National BPD Month. It's also something else. And I hope that this kind of helps people understand me and my own daily struggles and why I struggle to be consistent in the gym and food and everything in my life. So if you watch me on Instagram and everything constantly back and forth changing shit, it's because I can't help it and I don't notice. Everyone else notices, but I don't. So I hope that people can bear with me in the future and still love me for who I am and what I can provide as a human. So I'm gonna end that here. If you have any questions, hit me up on Instagram, Twitter, or Snapchat, or comment down below. Thanks for watching. If you've made it this far, I'll be proud. See you later.